Hello everyone, this is Toby from Our Data Solution. This screencast is about 4 or 5 minutes. We want to show you some of the features we've added in Beta 4. This is Beta 4 of Logos 5, and we're making refinements to the software. It's looking pretty good so far. We've been working on Logos now, this version of Logos, for 4 or 5 months, and one of the things that we've done is add a data wizard to the connection manager. What you do is that you define your connection to the database. You specify, of course, the name of the connection, the host name. This is going to be localhost, the username that you connect to the database with, the password for that user account, and of course the database name. And then you click save, and then you have the connection. If you're working with Logos 4, well, the story stops there. But in Logos 5, you can do more. In Logos 5, you can specify information about the fields located in that database. We've added the database wizard, and what we've done in this beta is actually allowed you to specify which specific tables you want to work with. For example, we can work with 2 tables, the data types and the dealerships tables. Those tables have information that we will generate some forms and report for. In Logos 5, we can now specify additional information about those fields. We can specify a title. We can also specify stuff like the inputs and whether those fields will be required, whether those fields would be editable, filterable, translated. There's a bunch of stuff that we can specify all on this one screen. This is one of the big features of Logos 5. Well, those of you who are working with Logos already might say, hey, I could do that in Logos 4. We had that variable manager and that seemed to work okay. Well, in Logos 5 it's even easier. Simply create a new application, specify the title, then you specify that connection that we just created, and then you can configure some other things. For example, maybe you want to choose a light theme, or let's choose the gray theme, for example. Save that information, and then that'll come back. We'll get we can enter a description if we want to. That'll come back, and then we can say that this is a managed application. We want Logos to manage it using that data source. Let's use the dealerships. Save this, and it comes back. Now we're ready to use the application wizard. We don't have any actions yet, but we can create some. These would be empty actions. Not a problem. Logos can build the queries for us. It'll take that information from the connection manager, read it, interpret it, and it's doing a pretty good job at guessing what we want. Not everything. I want to take this publishing control out. That's not going to be searchable. Don't forget we have access control lists in Logos now. This came in Logos 5 Beta 3, just the previous version. Let's save these changes. Yes, we want to rebuild the application. This is a managed application. Comes back. Let's go back and look at the actions made by Logos. There they are. Let me show you one more important feature that you can find in Beta 4. This is a notable one as well. These little green buttons here, these are management toggles. Sometimes you don't want to manage in action. Sometimes it works just fine. You don't want it to be managed by the application wizard. Well, if we disable management on individual actions, they won't appear in the application wizard. The application wizard won't touch them. So when we rebuild the application, they're fine. You can see here that only the managed applications have been updated. Our preload, the add, the others. The 2 that we specified not to be managed, they haven't changed. And if at a later time we actually want to have them managed, well, that's pretty easy. We just re-enable that management attribute. Then we can go back to the application wizard and make whatever changes we need to. So of course all these changes aim at generating a form and report super easy. Just with those default settings we can have a form. Here's our search form. And these again are just the default settings. We didn't specify any drop downs. So for the state we have to enter some text. We'll search for something California. The user hits submit. They can search the database. There's your form and there's your report. All the information you need using Logos 5.0.